Hello YouTube, this is Kirk. This is March 26, 2023, and happy spring. You can see we've still got a little bit of snow in the background here in Ontario, Canada. What I'm putting together for you is a spring string trimmer buyer's guide, looking with a focus on Echo string trimmers. That's what I have for my personal use. So I wanted to share with you what I think about these units, which ones I think are worth the money, how much money, what the features and benefits are of each of them, and how that might apply best for your needs, whether you're a homeowner or a lawn care professional. So we're going to really be talking about these 4 straight shaft string trimmers here. And just a quick honorable mention to this old venerable GT200 Echo unit you see down at the end. The gray units were made back in the day by the Kurowitz Corporation, which has since become the Yamabiko company. So the orange units are Yamabikos, which encompasses Echo and Shindaiwa string trimmers. You'll find each of these string trimmers has its approximate corresponding Shindaiwa unit. Shindaiwas are excellent. I have a Shindaiwa backpack blower, but Echoes are far more accessible in Canada and the US, as some or all are available in big box stores like Home Depot, and there's probably more Echo dealers than there are Shindaiwa dealers. So not to take anything away from the Shindaiwas, but we're going to be talking about Echoes here today. So if you don't want to stay tuned for the full length of this video, which is probably going to be a little lengthy because I want to go into the details of each of the units, I'll give you the giveaway right now, the spoiler alert, that if you're a homeowner with a basic city lot or subdivision size lot up to about an acre, or you're a lawn care professional that really zeroes in on residential properties in that size, or even if you have some commercial properties that are really relatively small and pretty straightforward of just grass trimming, easily, hands down, the unit I recommend, you can't go wrong for your money, is this guy right here, the Echo SRM 225. I think bang for your buck, it's probably it's the best value out of all of these units, and will do 95% of everything even a lawn care professional would need. So I think it's a great unit. If you want to spend a little bit more for some of the benefits and features of these other units that I'll be talking about, you're not going to be disappointed. But if you're looking for a reasonably priced, great performing, all the benefits or almost all the benefits of a unit here that's over $600 by the time you're out the door in Canada for like half the price, I would say the SRM 225 is the way to go. So quickly we'll talk about the Echo GT225, which would be the same power head as what's on the SRM 225, and that's the new model of the curved shaft unit available at dealers and big box stores like Home Depot. The Echo GT225 is a 21cc curved shaft trimmer. That means there is no gearbox like you see at the end here of all of these straight shaft units. There's no gearbox. The drive shaft just comes down, makes a curve to get your 90 or approximate, and goes into a trimmer head. Now this unit has been affixed with a Echo Speedfeed 400 for my older brother, because I hated listening to him talk about having to change his string individually whenever it got wore down. So I said just put an Echo Speedfeed head on it and at least get it up as good as you can to make it much more serviceable. So the GT225, my understanding is it does not come with the Speedfeed 400 head, and that in itself is enough of a reason to discard it from your choice, unless you're a smaller, slighter, shorter person that really prefers curved shafts. I would take it off your list of ones to look at. It just really is going to be a disappointment for you in the long run. For a few dollars more, I would definitely say you're going to get much more use and benefit out of the SRM 225. But the current price point for the GT 225 in Canada is $239, and in the US it is $179. So those prices are plus tax. So, and that's basically the last we will talk about the curved shaft trimmer. The next one for a price point, the SRM 225, is $339 Canadian, available at dealers and Home Depot. And I believe it is on sale right now in Home Depot in the US for $229, making it a really good price. I know it used to be $199, but with all of the price increases we've seen across the board for gas and groceries, etc., $229 is a very good entry-level price that if you're a professional and you were to buy a new one every year, it would pay for itself, but you should get much more than a year out of it. I've since given this SRM 225 to my brother to replace that GT 200 that he had. The next one is an Echo SRM 2320T, and that one is priced at $430 plus tax in Canada, or $290 US. In Canada, I believe you're really only going to see that at Echo dealers. In the US, I think you can get it at dealers and through Home Depot. And next, we have the Echo SRM 266. That's a unit that's been around in the Echo lineup quite a long time. The 2320T is a relatively new version. The Echo SRM 266 moves up from the 21cc class to the 25cc class, so it is more powerful, and it is priced at $459 plus tax Canadian, or $329 US. And on the very end, this is a commercial grade 25cc class Echo SRM 2620T, and it is priced Canadian at $570 plus tax, or $390 US plus tax. So quite a bit of a price jump for the 2620T over the Echo SRM 225, which is why for 90 to 95% of the capability, I recommend a unit that's at half the price. And let's talk about what you get for your money in those products. All four of these have the same 59-inch shaft, so the reach is the same. You'll see they all have the same overmolded comfort grip, and they are super comfortable. All of these units have this great D handle, going from the 2320T and up. The more entry-level SRM 225 has a little bit tighter handle. I prefer the D handle. This is a little bit better for me to have multiple grip positions on when I'm doing things like edging along sidewalks, driveways, curbing. Still totally possible with this handle. You may have another unit that had a D handle on it, and you could swap it over if you prefer, but this is still a really nice grippy handle, and it just speaks to the lightweight usability of the SRM 225. We'll talk about this end of these units. All four of them come with the same speed feed head, which is what really sets Echo apart in the straight shaft string trimmer world, in my opinion. They are very fast to reload, very easy to feed out string, and replacement bump heads are available at Home Depot or through your dealer for a reasonable price to use them when they wear out. The one thing about the guard, I will say, these Echo units all have the same size guard, which gives them a 17-inch swath. So again, the difference between your $600+ Canadian unit and your $340 plus tax unit down here. Not that much difference. Same cutting width. Definitely a little less power on the 21cc version over the 25cc professional model, but if you're just trimming residential grass, they get the job done just as great on this smaller unit here with the same 17-inch cutting width. The guards are a little on the small side, so you still do have to be careful to wear your PPE because they will throw a fair bit of debris back at you depending on which way you are cutting into your clippings. Sometimes you want to send the debris back if you're cutting along a garden bed and you don't want to put the clippings into the garden bed. You'll see these do have different looking heads on them, or gearboxes. So you'll see the 2620T and the 2320T both have this sort of pointed looking gearbox. That's because the T stands for high torque, and those give you a 2-to-1 reduction, which gives you much more torque and power when cutting through heavier grass and weeds. The standard reduction is a 1.62 or 1.63 to 1 gearbox that's on the 266 and the 225. Those are on the new versions of the 266, the same as you'll see on this one here on the 225. It is non-serviceable, where these other ones have a bolt where you can put some lithium grease into the gearbox. These ones are non-serviceable and sealed, so I prefer having the ability to grease the gearbox. I put together a little video at the end of last season showing you how to do that to increase the service life of your string trimmer. But the sealed units, so far from what I've seen on this 225, hasn't needed it. Works fine. It will probably, the gearbox will probably outlast your trimmer anyways, but that's saying something because remember, this curve shaft trimmer here is somewhere between 15 and 20 years old, and it hasn't been exactly loved for its life. All right, so you can see virtually all the same. Certainly the cutting width is the same. Let's talk a little bit about the engine specs and the various weights on these. So we'll go and look at these units from the back side. Basically same. Sorry about the shadow. So down here, the SRM 225 and the 2320 both share similar cowling. The displacement is 21.2 cc's. There is a little bit of a difference in the cylinder and piston plating on the 2320T. It has apparently a chromium plating that gives it a 300-hour EPA rating versus the 50-hour on the SRM 225. But for the most part, to the average user, they're pretty much the same. The weight is basically the same on those two. They're coming in right around 12 pounds, which is another great reason why I recommend the Echo SRM 225. The weight is so much more comfortable than a 14 or 15 pound trimmer, especially if you're a smaller person, maybe a female, or using it all day. A couple pounds really makes a difference. So the fuel tank on the Echo SRM 225 is around 12 ounces. It's around 14 ounces on the SRM 2320T. I really prefer this fuel tank with the full wrap that you see on these units versus this newer style. A lot of people say they like it because it protects the fuel tank. I don't like it because you cannot see the fuel level as easily as you can in all of these. So to me, that's a bit of a downfall. I like the older SRM 225s that had this same type of wrap. I'd even prefer if it had no wrap at all, because seeing how much fuel in it is actually really important to me. The other thing to note is these have easy spin-off air cleaner covers The air cleaner in the SRM 225 is just a simple single stage felt insert. It is that same insert on the 2320T, but it also has a foam pre-cleaner. Other than that, the two units are basically the same. Covered off the weight. The fuel, again, around 12 ounces here, around 14 ounces in the 2320T. So you'll get probably a little bit longer run time. Yeah, it's usually between 45 minutes and an hour of straight on run time. So that's usually more than enough to do any residential lot around an acre or smaller. Then the 266, this unit probably, well, it has the advantage of 25cc power. It's just a little heavy. That would be probably my biggest beef about the SRM 266. It's quite a bit more money than the SRM 225. It's actually even more money than the 2320T, and it's heavier. Personally, with the high torque head, I prefer the lightweight of the 2320T, and that's my daily go-to trimmer that I would grab off the rack over these other two. And it's the reason why I gave the 225 to my brother, because it is superior in that it's the same weight as a 225 with a high torque head, has the more professional D-ring handle, and the extra pre-cleaner in the air cleaner. You could actually put that same type of pre-cleaner in the 225, and that will give you longer service intervals of changing out the main air cleaner. Getting back to the SRM 266, the weight on that unit is around 14 pounds. So the 2 pound difference is significant over the 225 and 2320T. It holds more fuel at around 16 ounces, still giving you a runtime of approximately an hour because it is a bigger CC unit. It has a dual stage air cleaner, and not much more to tell you other than that. Down here at the end is the highest performing unit, and I think probably the biggest unit that you want to go to unless you're doing highway, side of highway brush clearing. If you're just a homeowner or a professional land care or grass keeping professional, the SRM 2620T is a screamer, and it's all the power you're going to need to get through just about any size amount of overgrowth. Getting into the 30-20, and they even have a 40cc unit that you're going to definitely want a harness for, and maybe the bicycle handlebars. That's just too much for me, and I would say for most users. I think if you're staying within a non-harnessed standard, get it and go around a property, fence line, the 2620T is absolutely the high-end sports car performer of the lineup here, and of Echo's lineup. It is a 25cc engine, but it also has the hardened cylinder and piston plating that gives it a longer EPA rating, the 300 hour versus your 50 hour on the 266. It definitely puts out more power than the 266 based on the high torque 2-to-1 gear reduction head. Its weight is really where the money becomes worth it over the 266. It drops you back down to 13 pounds approximately, so it's a pound lighter than the 266, which again, even a pound makes a big difference over the course of a day. It's quite pricey at over $600 Canadian, so unless you really just need to have the best of the best, or you really do have a lot of you have a farm basically to do, a lot of fence line, a lot of trees to go around, ditches that don't get cut very often and grow over a foot tall, then it may be the unit that makes sense for you. It has a 20-ounce fuel tank, so it does give you a longer run time, and it also has a 2-stage air filtration system. Just some other things to look at that you can see on all of these, even right down to the $229 US SRM 225. You can see that the cables that go to the throttle are actually encased in metal. You don't see this on your big box or name brand budget type trimmers. Something else that you want to look for, whether you're looking at Echoes or you're looking at Shindaiwa or even other products like Husqvarna's or Stihl's, what sets apart a quality trimmer is you will see that they all have the recoil on the back of the unit. This means they are full crank units, which means they have a better balanced crank in them. The cheap units that you might find in a big box store will have the pull cord here in the front of the housing, and those are only what they call a half crank, and you will not get the service life out of those units that you will out of the higher end Husqvarna, Stihl's, Red Max, and of course these Echoes. What else can I tell you about them? That really is about it. You'll see that they do all have protection built in for the spark plugs. They all run the same NGK spark plugs, except for this beast down here on the end. It has a special NGK plug, but again, it also does have quick wheels that you can use. It's just got 2 of them, one on the top and one on the bottom of the air filter cover, but they are still hand release, no tools required. And I will be doing some in-service demonstrations of these units. If you have any questions about them beyond what I've shared with you in this video, please leave them down below. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this has helped you in making a decision if you're looking to purchase a new straight shaft string trimmer for 2023. Not selling you on Echo. I like them. There are lots of other good quality units out there, but I can tell you from experience, I've used just about every make available, and these or Shindaiwas are the only ones that I will go specifically to the store and pay retail price for. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and I truly hope this has been beneficial for somebody. Take care.